love the sinner, hate the sin. That's what I was always taught to do. And for a long time, I believed that that was the most compassionate way I, as a Christian, could be in a relationship with gay people. I would love them as long as I hated and condemned their sinful behavior. Translation: there was no need to interrupt my football player friends at dinner as they teased and made inappropriate jokes about the female acting male D-hall worker. He was a sinner. They were ridiculing his behavior I was supposed to hate. Over 10 years after graduating from UR, I discovered one of my closeted friends in college is gay. I wonder how he felt sitting at dinner with me silent as a D-hall worker was ridiculed for his perceived sexual orientation. I wonder if I ever laughed along. I wonder how many times I talked about homosexuality as a sin or made fun of an effeminate man in his presence. The truth is, I'll never know, because back then it wasn't important to me. The student group for sexual minorities was on campus for 3 years before I ever knew it even existed. Not one person was out of the closet among the people I knew. I assumed everyone I knew was heterosexual. I was not a safe person to talk with about the issue of sexual orientation. I would have felt obligated as a Christian to condemn my gay friend for the choice to live a gay lifestyle. It was not until I started to listen to the stories of LGBTQ people that I woke up to the ways that I have been complicit in their oppression without ever meaning to be. It wasn't until I had names and faces and relationships to associate with the LGBT community that I began asking myself some tough questions. How can I love a person while simultaneously holding hate in my heart towards that person's behavior? How can I extend Christ-like love towards anyone if all I see is their essence of sin? If I feel obligated to condemn and to avoid gay people, how exactly will my compassion reach them? If I say I believe in justice, why is it okay to sit silently by while LGBTQ I was in a church service once when the minister offered a very good dinner. I invited some of my gay friends to the service. I was at the front of the church and they were at the back. People all over the church joined hands in a show of solidarity. I bowed my head, closed my eyes as the minister started to pray. God, you can heal diabetes, you can heal homosexuality, and you can heal cancer. My eyes popped open. What? Diabetes? Homosexuality and cancer? Did this woman just refer to my friends as a disease? I began to pray my own prayer. God, show me what to do. It was the official ending of my ignorance, my blindness, and my silence. There was no longer a separation between the person and the sin. The people were people I loved. They were people who blessed my life and taught me how to be a better person. They were people I admired. They were people I respected. They were not a disease. And I experienced their behavior as an expression of who God made them to be. I knew in that moment that God loved them just like God loved me, unconditionally. I believe God answered my prayer that night, and I am now on a journey where I am being shown what I must do. Every day afterward, I have been learning how to be more aware of my biases and how to unlearn them. I'm actively learning how to be a more compassionate Christian who extends love that is not tainted by hate.
At this point in my life, my mother and father will not be coming to my wedding. My experience in coming out to my parents isn't nearly as terrible as some stories I've heard. And from some points of view, I'm lucky. But regardless, my father will not be walking me down the aisle, and my mother will probably refuse to come. My mother just found out about my best friend and me a few months ago. Her response wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. She could have told my conservative Catholic father. Instead, she tries to talk me out of it and tell me how I'm ruining my life and pleads with me to expand my horizons. But she has stopped calling my sexual preference an abnormality. That's a plus. As for my father, he should probably never find out. He is the most stubborn person I have ever met. He is so entrenched in his belief that he absolutely believes that my butchy girlfriend, who he somehow still thinks is my best friend, will grow out of my face. I don't consider myself gay. I don't consider myself a lesbian or bisexual either. I prefer to call myself my name. I don't wish I were gay. I also don't dislike them. I don't have many gay friends. My closest friends are all actually straight. I don't attempt to dress like a man. I just wear what I feel comfortable. Sometimes the smallest feels in a purse, and that by no means implies that I am confused. I'm sure that some days I enjoy wearing loose jeans, and I'm sure that other days I enjoy wearing a dress. Indecisiveness is not the force behind my folks' wardrobe. I was in love with a guy before, two actually. And no, it was not prior to falling in love with a woman. My experience with men did not drive me towards women. They have actually treated me better than women in my life have. Love is not about sex, so swaying me to prefer one sex over the other should not include sexual organs in your argument. I think two girls kissing looks socially awkward. I also think two boys kissing is socially awkward. Actually, any kissing makes me uncomfortable. PDA of any kind is not something that I care for. I have never forced myself on another girl, gay, straight, or bisexual, nor do I think it's flattering or appealing to a group promote such behavior. As loud as I am in my daily interactions, I'm really shy when it comes to intimate relationships. My father is a doctor and my mother is an accountant. I was not poor growing up, and my sexuality is in no way a result of a disadvantaged economic status. I never felt socially unaccepted or feared the opinions of my friends, strangers, or families. I earned 13 varsity letters in high school, broke 2 school records in 2 different sports, and received endless state, sectional, and conference athletic honors. And these things had absolutely nothing to do with why I dated women. I spoke to my straight best friends about my personal life, and it has never once been weird. Most of them depend on me for advice about similar topics. The truth of the matter is, I rarely ever felt negative effects of societal views on my sexual orientation. I had dysfunctions with my family and frequently hid that by abusing certain substances. I had dysfunction, but I don't believe my behavior was a direct result of being uncomfortable with my sexuality, but tied more to my personality and nature. Everyone has problems and are unsure about something growing up, but my family never completely rejected me or made my situation unbearable. I did not choose to write this because I feel unaccepted or disadvantaged. If anything, I think that I am in a better position because I viewed life from 2 different perspectives that most people never get a chance to do. Even though assumptions affiliated with who I should be probably couldn't be farther away from who I really am, they haven't extremely affected my life. Having said that, it was wrong for me to say the assumptions aren't a problem, or that they don't have a negative effect on other people in a similar position as myself. I don't think the issue is just with individuals who have a strong dislike for homosexuals, but it's the way our society thinks in general, even subconsciously. People can claim to support the lifestyle, even claim us as best friends, but the feeling that their heterosexual views are superior and more correct is still existent. It's the smile, the 2-second pun after a compliment, or the awkward look at a sleepover when a person places me on the floor and thinks that sleeping next to me in the bed is different than sleeping next to our other beds. I am grateful that people don't judge my friendship with envies and such factors, but it would be impermissible to think or claim that these perceptions have gone away, or that my way of life is judged as equal, not as inferior to the way of life of a single street individual. It is still stigmatized.
I've been doing Christ.
Being anything that's straight is a weakness.
No,
My brother was also gay, but unlike myself, his sexual orientation was what caused him to destroy his entire life. He didn't lose control over his life because he was actually what people thought he was, but because they couldn't see him as anything else. We don't just need to accept him, we need to accept who they really